And you're
saying
fake.
all the nonsense
You're
said,
bitter
but
and
you
you're
can't
fake.
say it to my face.
Where do you live at? Do you live in Saudi Arabia? Do you
I
live
live in
Houston?
Saudi Arabia
Do you have
and
a job? Do you
Houston.
have a not
I
job? Do you
have
not
a
have a
fucking job.
job?
Do you want? Wait. Can you believe this guy?
Do you have...
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we're talking Love is Blind Season 5, Episodes 8 and 9.
That's right there, Mr. Knuff. We sure are. I like that, man. That's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
tight
very
little,
colorful today, as
yeah,
you can
yeah,
see.
I mean, anywhere else you'd be a 10.
Yeah. I'm
Not
just
here.
Ken.
Not here, though.
That's
All
right.
right, so this...
Speaking of a 10, you guys are a 10. We've got a lot of new viewers lately, a lot of new subscribers, I think, too, man. And a lot of good conversation, man. We had a lot of good talk to you guys. We really appreciate it. And hey, just keep hitting that like and subscribe button and talking to us.
Yeah, we appreciate the old fans and the new ones.
That's right.
But
Especially the ones who take my side.
Yeah.
this show, though, starts off pretty hot and heavy.
Oh, yeah. Picks up right where that fight left off in the last
Yeah,
one.
that didn't
Yeah.
disappoint.
So we're back at the party where the whole Uche incident happened.
Mm-mm.
So...
Yeah, and Uche just keeps proving my point. Like, every time this guy opens his mouth and, like, talks to people and the way he addresses people, he's just...
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
It's horrible.
And Uche and Milton are kind of having a conversation, and Lydia goes to retrieve them.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Come with me.
can I get 5 minutes?
No.
Let him have 5 minutes. Hey, don't let her control you. You're gonna let her come in between your friends?
But he seems kind of dead set on like talking to Uche. What'd you think about all that?
So what I will say, man, Milton's a funny dude, man, because there's times when he's very emotionally stable and emotionally mature, and there's other times where he's like a 14-year-old, like when when they're like leaving his clothes on the floor and all that shit. So it's really funny dealing with this guy, man. But I think he handled that conversation really well. He said, "Look, we're 3 different people on 3 different channels here. You got your opinion, she got hers, and I got mine." And
Well, he also was trying to be handled by, or I guess Uche was trying to handle him, and he wasn't letting Uche handle him.
yeah, exactly.
And I liked that, because Uche seems to love to handle people.
Yeah, well, Lydia kind of pulls Milton away, and then Uche now is like, well, shit, who am I going to tell the story to?
I gotta get my story
Right.
out there. I
Hey,
must
somebody's
tell
gotta listen to
people.
me.
Yeah, he goes to the group, and he's like, this is the deal.
Yeah.
And he busts out his cell phone every time. He's like, I got
Right.
receipts, guys. I
That's
got
right.
receipts.
That's right.
And he claims Lydia knew that he was going to be on the show, and they were going to be on it together.
She set it up.
I found out that she knew I was being cast for the experiment.
Yeah,
All a big setup.
exactly.
And what I find funny here is that Aaliyah is the one who told him that she had made the comment, I think I might see somebody here that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brings that up to this group of girls, and the girls are all like, I never heard.
Yeah, they're like, huh?
Well, wait,
Like,
he's
what
in the
you
middle
talking
of
about?
this story, and Johnny's like, oh my God!
Is your face okay?
Hold on, she blocked.
I mean-
hold on, she blocked my Instagram.
Is your face
profile.
okay?
Stacy, keep it cool.
Oh,
And Stacy's like, is something wrong with your face?
Well, she's like totally buying Uche's side. She's like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Johnny does. Like, damn.
Yeah, and later on, she does the same thing. She's like, I mean, he's kind of convincing. Like when she's
Mhm.
talking to Lydia, and I was like, oh man, these are
They're both
definitely lawyers.
And they're both
Like,
lawyers.
there are two sides to this story.
And Uche's like, I'm in the middle of my story. Can you guys just shut up?
what?
To be surprised at a reaction.
Can I finish? Can I
If
finish?
you're looking at me,
So,
I was looking at them.
and she came in the first day. I don't know which of you girls she told. She was saying, "Oh,
So what'd you think of that whole thing? Like,
Oh, man.
Stacy calling out Johnny for the face she's making during the story. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that kind of face when you hear some shocking
Yeah,
news,
but-
right?
No, there's not. But, the little beef they got going between those two. So,
Man, Stacy is super direct.
oh, totally.
She don't beat around the bush.
No, no, she doesn't.
If she has a problem, she's going to let you know.
She lets Johnny know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're freaking shady as hell. Freaking think you're full of shit. And I don't freaking want to deal with your ass.
I did want to hear what she had to say to Uche, but the other girl was interfering.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Uche
yeah.
was like,
She had known.
Miriam,
she had known.
stop.
Don't
Let
tell me
Stacy
to stop.
continue.
Don't tell me to
Don't
stop.
tell her.
Wait.
I want to hear what Stacy's
Don't
saying.
tell me to stop.
Don't you shush me.
Yeah,
Like, you
the
can't-
girls were not buying what Uche was
Yeah.
She's
selling.
like, I got a degree from Johns Hopkins. You don't. Well, you don't freaking come.
Hey, that's
put
a
your shit-
prestigious medical
It
school,
is.
you
Well,
know?
I mean,
It
he
is.
really went to. What's funny is that he really did go to childish tactics
totally
at
did,
that
man.
point.
Totally
He's
did.
like, okay, wubba, like, nanny nanny poo poo is basically what he said to
right.
her.
And you're
Saying all
fake.
the nonsense you
You're
said,
bitter
but
and
you
you're
can't
fake.
say it to my face.
Where do you live at? Do you live in Saudi Arabia? Do you
I
live
live
in
in
Houston?
Saudi Arabia
Do you have
and
a job? Do you
Houston.
have a not
I
job? Do you
have
not
a
have a
fucking job.
job?
Do you want? Wait.
Yeah, she did,
So they're
you know.
getting into it.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean...
So I have
don't
no
know.
idea what Stacy was gonna say. Like,
No, yeah,
Stacy
no,
was
Well,
about
that's
to
kind
like.
of weird, too, because Uche's like, Stacy, come on, you'll listen to me.
Exactly. He felt like he could get his point across to Stacy.
He just,
so
he
was-
just wanted somebody to listen to him, guys.
Yeah,
You know, it's like,
he
come on,
really
man.
did.
You want to talk about who's here for the cameras? I'm not Lydia or Aaliyah. You're not gonna make me cry. I'll read you for the filth you are, loser.
Why is he so adamant about pushing the story? Like, does anyone care at this point?
I think he's just so freaking egotistical and self-absorbed that he just has to be right and has to have somebody agree with him and be like, yeah, I totally see what you're saying, man. You know, I think it's all there is to it.
And you know, he had this like question and answer on Instagram about this whole scenario. And looking at his Instagram handle, his Instagram name is "I'm above the law."
Yeah, but what,
I mean, I realize that he's a lawyer.
right. It was just a play on
and
that. But
It's
what,
a play on a lawyer, but
his freaking ego, man.
it's
It's
also
ridiculous.
a play on how superior he thinks he is to
Oh,
everybody.
absolutely.
He loves his Instagram. He loves to be heard.
Yeah.
He's putting out a lot of tea on there,
Mhm.
supposedly.
Yeah,
Don't know if it's
supposedly.
true,
Right, exactly.
but he's saying a
He
lot.
says he knows 100%.
And we were hoping to at least get some extra truth out of this, but we didn't give him more damn truth. You know,
He
We're
knows
still,
100% that
confusing.
Lydia knew he was there.
I was just kind of like, I don't even care about this story. Like, if I was there, I'd be like, just shut up, man.
Right,
No one cares.
We're here to have a good time,
Yeah.
right? You're freaking ruining our buzz, man.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and what's her name? Renee was like,
Who wants more drinks? What do y'all want?
does anyone want a drink?
Renee's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I guess there's some information about her on this show too.
Yeah.
You know, she got engaged to that Carter dude, which makes sense. They keep showing them in the same frames together, and they went to Mexico and all that stuff. But they
You can
completely
see
cut that
her
out.
in the wedding dress,
Yeah.
the wedding dress stuff, and she's wearing the white outfit to the weddings, like all the
And
brides
she's looking
are.
good.
And then you see Carter. You get one shot of the back of Carter's head at the men's fitting, and then that's it. And then he's cut out the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So,
They did a good job of cutting them out.
yeah, they did.
And apparently that all happened because I guess it showed that they filed for a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
for their license, but then it also shows they never actually completed and turned it in. But she did eventually get married, like
Somebody else.
less than a year later. So I guess since she's married, there's no point in airing her story
I
at this point. in
I
time.
don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either. They still should have showed it. They
Yeah.
still should have showed it. I mean, so they said no at the altar, obviously, and whatever, man. They still could have showed the damn thing. On
Yeah, I
the show.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they went to Mexico and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
apparently.
But back to the party, like Milton and Lydia are kind of walking together, and Milton's kind of bragging about his 20-minute long urinal piss that he did. I was like, he's like really proud of this piss. Like, you should have saw it. 20 minutes. I'm not even kidding.
You should have seen this piss I took. It took about 20 minutes.
Asking if I work in Saudi Arabia. Are you kidding me?
Hey, ma'am. Please take care of Lydia, please.
So, and then he kind of drops Lydia off with the rest of the group, and then he goes back to hang out with Uche.
He like take care of her.
Yeah. You got her on this
You
one?
got it,
Good.
you got it,
All
you got it.
right.
We've been
Someone
conversation.
babysit her while I go deal with this guy.
Now, do you think that's kind of disrespectful to Lydia that he kind of went off on his own to talk to Uche?
No, I don't
No,
think
I
so.
don't think so. But and I think he put Uche in his place
No doubt.
as politely as he possibly could.
Yeah, I think he did.
Without an altercation.
Well, I
He's
mean-
like, look, whatever you guys had is what you guys had, and he's publicly said now, whatever his decision is, he said Uche had no bearing on any of it whatsoever.
Mhm.
Well, Milton's operating on a different dimensional plane than everybody
That's right.
else.
That's
I'm
right.
starting to believe it, too.
Oh, yeah.
You're in an X direction, she's in a Y direction, and I'm the Z direction.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even adjacent,
Yeah.
just like on a different parallel.
And that dude is super calm and collected
There's
through the
an
whole thing, man.
X-axis,
You're like,
a
damn.
Y-axis,
He's
a
on the Z.
Z-axis.
He's
I
the Z.
mean,
That's right.
Yeah, Milton. I love Milton, man.
Oh yeah.
I actually like Lydia during these episodes
I
too,
do
but
too.
like they're kind of
definitely
like
The last
a little bit of a train wreck together, but I like them individually. I
Yeah.
just don't know if they're good together, but maybe they can learn from each other. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to learn from each other. You know, from what we're kind of seeing here, just it's going to take them.
And I
It's going
think
to take some work.
And I think the truth behind the Lydia and Uche scenario is somewhere in the middle of their two stories.
Absolutely. And at this point,
You know,
kind of like Josh said, it doesn't even freaking matter, really, right? And it'd be great
it
to
matters
know.
to me. I want to
I
know.
mean, yeah, of course, it'd be great for us to know, but Milton doesn't give a shit, right? Milton's
No,
like,
he
whatever. I don't
doesn't.
care.
It doesn't have any bearing on him. Like, he's like, I'm with her. She's with me. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. Like,
Right, yeah. Like, you had your thing with her, whatever, man. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
And he's just like, oh, that's great. I never talked bad about her. And, like, you know, I just
don't want this to come between us, bro.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, just you and I,
Yeah.
man. We just can't let it come between us and say, dude, quit making
Yeah, I mean, how close of friends are you
Yeah,
guys
right.
too? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right, exactly. Yeah. And Milton doesn't even really respond when he's saying that, you know?
Yeah.
Don't let her control you, Milton. He's like-
Yeah, it makes me feel like, or wonder, like, I think Uche might be more obsessed with Lydia than Lydia was obsessed with
yeah,
him.
at this point,
So, I don't know.
No
it's
doubt.
weird.
Oh, yeah.
Did a little flip flop. Speaking of which, we did a poll to try and see who you guys thought was the biggest villain of this season. And no surprise, Uche takes it by far with 61% of the vote, followed by Lydia. People really wanted Lydia on there. We didn't originally have her on there, but the people spoke and we put her on there.
Yeah.
She had a lot of votes.
Now, Izzy's trying to talk with Chris and smooth things over with him.
And then you're gonna sit here and tell me like, I'm so glad this didn't work out. I would never.
told you she loved you in there?
4 times. I counted it.
And Chris is just like, you know.
He's like, Johnny loves me times 4. I don't know if you know.
He's like, wait. She said that to you?
Yeah.
4 times I counted.
bro.
I counted.
Counted them. Said she wanted to
Jeez.
marry me and all this stuff. And Chris is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so what now, do you think Izzy has ill intentions on
Yes.
telling Chris
Yeah,
that?
he
Yes.
definitely does. I mean,
He says he's just looking out for him and he's a good dude.
Here's the problem.
Could that be true?
it could be.
Starting from the conversation that we saw in the last episode with Johnny, and then Izzy's drunk.
Oh, he's drunk.
He's
That dude, he is
incredibly
totally
drunk. He's
No doubt
slurring
about it.
his words. He can barely keep his eyes open. Like, he is so drunk. So he is now just like
Yeah.
on a tangent about this. So I don't know how much of the ill intention is coming out just because he's like being belligerent. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're talking, and then Stacy comes over. Now they're like tag teaming him a little bit, and then Johnny's like sees this and it's like, whoa, what's going on? And then it kind of like goes even further south.
Oh, yeah.
from
Yeah.
there.
And that's when Johnny and freaking Stacy get into it.
Their stories are conflicting.
We were there in the pods to know that you're full of shit, so it coincides with the real world that you're still
Y'all's
full of
stories are conflicting.
Bullshit.
You know, I think he did have somewhat good intentions to an extent. He said, look, bro, she's bad news. But it's like, hey, you told him what you had to say. Now let him make his own damn decision. You know,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
he's gonna
exactly.
make, let him have his relationship. He's gonna make his own decision. You know, so
Well, Stacy says Johnny's.
I think she's boring, she's fake, two-faced. I can't get far enough away from her.
Yeah, I do find it odd that, you know, Johnny could probably have the same amount of warnings for Izzy about
Yeah.
Stacy, but she doesn't play that out.
well, because she's too easy
She
to
played it
defend.
out in the house.
She's
I
too busy
guess.
defending herself because she's getting
Yeah.
freaking attacked here, right? So
Yeah, and Stacy comes in like a bulldog, like she doesn't hold back, and
Mhm.
she lets it rip. And
just-
apparently,
just like she did in the bathroom.
apparently, Izzy likes watching Stacy rail
Yeah, it
on
turns
her.
him
Yeah,
on.
turned him on, and that kind of she was kind of like weird look on her face when he said that too. He's like,
You
yeah,
were really railing her ass, and I was really turning. I'm like,
it really turned me
Not
on.
what that means.
I saw you railing into her ass, and I got so turned on. I appreciate our.
Yeah, I don't like how when they have a disagreement, the way Stacy handles Izzy. But Izzy just can't seem to stand up for himself. He tries, but he's
Yeah,
not good
well, the
at
funny thing about Izzy, every freaking scene you see that guy in, he looks like he's on the verge of crying, man. I mean, his eyes are like red. He looks, he's got little tears in him. Like, it doesn't matter what scenario it is, what he's saying, what they're doing. He always looks like he's getting ready to cry.
And I think
So.
he has, you know, every person has like a different way they behave when they're drinking. He
Mm.
has the belligerent, like, I'm going to like say what I think part. And then I think he always ends in the sad crying part. Like, and that,
He,
in
he's
the
definitely got his
closet
sad
cry.
crying face.
but Stacy is
I was
very
like, oh, dude.
controlled,
Oh, yeah.
typically with
Yeah.
at least keeping her emotions. I mean, she might get mad and let loose or whatever, but like she doesn't really have a soft side too much.
No, not at all. So it's funny seeing him as the one. He's sitting in a freaking closet crying.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is this guy doing?
He's like he's like in the fetal position, just like crying.
And she gets up off the counter.
Surprised he didn't have like his thumb in his mouth or something like that.
All right, guys, now you're making fun.
Just leave me alone, is what he says. Get away.
But she gets up off the counter and she's like, I'm good.
I have no question on me. I'm good. I've given.
I've given.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like
cooked 2 meals.
I feel like you don't appreciate the things I do for you, and and I do things, and she'll be, you told me you're gonna cook and you ain't been cooking. But aside from cooking, I do things.
Well, he gives her flowers
He did give her the
every
flowers.
week.
Yeah, he did give her the flowers.
Every week.
And the funny thing is, he didn't point that out when she's getting on to him.
I know.
I'd be like, sweetheart, what's this shit right here that I just got you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she says some harsh things. She's like,
well, when you come home, like, what do you do for me?
Like, what do you do for me?
Yeah.
Is he not enough for her? You know what I mean?
Evidently, he doesn't feel like she is. Man. He didn't feel like he is. And like I said, that's when he should have picked those flowers up.
Some people aren't enough. I don't know.
Right.
And the whole time I'm watching and I'm like, well, what do you do for him? I mean, the whole conversations that we've ever seen about their relationship and what she wants in a relationship, and she wants to make sure that someone's financially stable and that she has this lifestyle and blah blah blah.
Yeah, a lot of demands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but she never seems to offer anything herself.
Yeah.
When she says you're all talk, no action.
Right.
And I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Yeah, she's harsh, dude.
And she really is.
I mean, if I were him, I would have picked up the flowers and like thrown them in the garbage disposal or something.
She made the poor guy run into the closet and cry.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And of course, we're kind of making fun of him because, we're men. That's what we do. But, like, that's really messed up what she says to him.
Oh, it is. It's
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's messed up how insensitive she is in that moment.
Yeah.
Obviously,
she's cold, man.
Yeah.
Ice cold.
Because when you flipped it, remember when he made her cry, he went over there and started consoling her. And she did eventually come into the closet. And
yeah. Yeah.
Well, even though she went into the closet and she's like, they're there.
She's like, come on, this is embarrassing.
There's cameras here, right?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I mean, maybe she did it for the cameras. I don't know, because I don't know if she's going to be understanding.
But I think
after a while,
she kept pushing him till he got to that point. Like, she could see him getting to that breaking point.
So,
and she
like,
kept
what do
going.
you do for me?
She wanted that to happen, it seemed like.
Yeah, I don't know, but I couldn't believe it. Because I was like, where the hell did he go? And he's in the fucking closet.
I opened the door and I'm
he's
like,
actually in the closet. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, that's when you just walk away and you slam a door.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
That's like a man.
Yeah, like a man, damn it.
Most dudes, I think, do in that situation. But
Jeez.
And if you are going to cry, just don't open the door until you wiped all that stuff off. I mean,
Especially if there's a camera there.
especially if there's a
Especially if you're in
camera.
the closet. Like, oh,
Look,
man.
I like the sensitive side of him, and he's drunk. He
is drunk. That's
Everybody gets emotional when they're drunk in some way or another, and she took advantage of him in his
not in a good way.
Yeah. So, and then it like cuts to her. She's at like the workout studio. She's getting it on.
Yeah, she is.
She's looking good. She's in charge of that room. So I'm like, damn.
That's cool, man. I like that. It's like,
Cold
damn,
at
all
that
right.
lowest
What
point.
did it say her job was? Like, I didn't
Her
realize.
job is like
Like
something.
operations manager or something.
Yeah, something
Does
like
she,
that,
like,
yeah. Operations executive or
Maybe she
manager or something,
manages the studio. This
I don't know
workout
what
studio or
her
something.
actual job
Or is that a
but
hobby job?
yeah.
That
She looked good.
does?
She looked good doing it though. I tell you.
Yeah. She looked like she was working it. So
And then Izzy shows up.
yeah.
Brings her a nice little gift bag.
And that was really cool.
That was cool. Especially the
I mean, this kind of just shows like, I mean, Izzy definitely seems like he's putting more into this than her. So
Yeah.
for her to be
Sure.
questioning him, I'm like, what are you doing for him?
For sure.
This is a shitty situation, but just like in Mexico, I'm here to love you and fight for you. It's the most romantic thing anyone's ever gotten me.
Yeah.
Where's
and
this plunger?
I was actually surprised of how well she received the gift, because the gift was definitely more of a
It was a
gesture.
Heart. Yeah.
Very heartfelt. Yeah.
It was more of a gesture than an actual gift, because I was expecting some of those expensive shoes, and I'm sure she was like, "Are they in here?" I don't know. Like, just
He
she's
just
very.
wants her love. That's all he asks for.
That's right. That's right. It's all.
Maybe you could co-sign on a credit card or something. We'll get into that.
Can you have your dad co-sign for me?
But yeah,
secured credit card.
I'm feeling kind of bad for the dude at this point because I'm like,
Yeah.
man,
Oh, yeah.
what's going on here?
no doubt.
So
but she finally coaxes him out of the closet, and they sweet talks him a little bit, and they seem to.
But they don't seem like two couples in love. Like, I mean, compared to last season, you know, with Brett and Tiffany and the lawyer guy. See, the other lawyer guy was cooler.
Yeah, no doubt.
Josh, or was that his name?
No, not Josh.
Jeez.
Can't think of his damn name right now either.
He was with Bliss.
That's right.
That guy.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
Zach and Bliss. Zach and Bliss. That's right.
Yeah, Zach and Bliss and Brett and Tiffany.
Yeah, much better.
They should have brought them on to advise these couples. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then it kind of cuts to Milton, and he must have like somehow like channeled Izzy because he's making some food. But I don't think Lydia's appreciating
she's like, you burning plastic over there? She's like, what the hell's going on?
He left something on the sausage. You're not supposed to leave it on the sausage, like the casing or something.
He brings it over, and he's like, you want something? Say no.
Like, get this crap out of here.
Does he get the points for cooking it though, even if she doesn't want to eat it? Like,
I mean, I give him some points. I don't know if Lydia's giving him any points.
If this was an Izzy Stacy situation, how would Stacy handle that?
She'd probably like, what the hell is this you put in front of my face?
She's like, don't worry, I've ordered DoorDash.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then Stacy meets the mom.
Yeah, that was cool. His mom seemed like a really nice woman, and he's really, you can tell he's definitely a mama's boy. You know,
he was nervous though.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were zooming in, he was like
he was sitting there tapping that leg. Yeah.
Well, mom says this ain't no game.
Oh yeah.
So
like, and I don't know if you're the right girl or not. You know, and when that happened, I was like, oh.
Like everything was kumbaya, and then like she's like, hey, this ain't no game.
But Stacy played it cool. She just kind of sat back and listened, and then she came back and talked to her and kind of, gained her trust.
Yeah, she mustered like a tear, I think. She's like, come on, you can do it.
Yeah, got it.
So
there it is.
Yeah, Stacy was cool meeting the mom, and she's always wearing her like midriffs or whatever she's wearing. Showing off the tummy, and I know why, because it looks good.
I mean, all right.
But I don't think she owns a shirt that doesn't show it off.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you look good, but like when you meet the mom, like,
you should probably wear something.
Yeah, you probably should be wearing something a little.
And honestly, because you can see the way the mom looked at her when she was saying that. I think the mom was taking that into consideration when she made the comments she made.
If you go back and watch it, Izzy was looking at her tummy a little bit there too. Like,
I wasn't
you couldn't put on a full shirt for this meeting.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
She's like, you see these abs? Come on.
That's right. They didn't just come up on their own.
Put on a bikini.
I had to work on these bad boys.
She just walks around in a bikini all the time. Like that's the girl I got.
And Lydia goes to meet Milton's family.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's sink or swim, just to let you know.
Oh, dude, he wasn't kidding.
You're going into the deep end. Prepare yourself.
Oh, yeah. His sister was brutal, man. She was asshole-ish level, you know? I was like, damn.
Well, the mom's like, I got to do my little credit check, my little background check.
What's your last name again? The SWOT. Yeah, it says we're going to do the SWOT.
SWOT analysis.
Yeah, SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, we're doing the SWOT analysis.
That's something that we should all remember. The SWOT analysis.
Yeah, but they are really messing around with this. This is like an interview, like we're breaking it down here.
Mm-hmm.
And most couples like asking about the happy stuff. They're like, what do you not like about them?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that might be smart because that gets her to talk a little bit, right?
And she says, hey, let me ask you a question. Does this kid got to be James Milton the Fifth?
Yeah, that's the one.
And we don't get a response on it. We don't know
because they couldn't figure out if it was the fourth or the fifth. She's like, the sister's like, no, it's the fourth, and the mom's like, no, it's the fifth. Sister's like, what? No, the fourth.
And I mean, here's where we learn his name's like is little Jimmy right here.
Yeah.
Little Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly.
Little Jimmy right here.
So here's what I didn't like about this scenario or this meeting. Well, I'll say is that he's sitting on the counter because that's what he does, kicking his feet like a kid, while family's like grilling her, and he's just like, "Can we eat?"
He's killing, yeah.
He does try and intervene. Can we stop? And you know,
yeah, but he doesn't ever seem to really. And then when try to defend her or like try to be like, "Hey, this is us. We're good. I'm in this too." He's just like, "Hey, have fun with it."
The adults are talking here. You just chill out right over there.
And then the sister asks him like, "Well, why do you want to get married?" And he's like, "Can I just eat?"
Yeah. He's like, dude, can we just not get in this deep stuff?
He's like, I'm not here to talk about this.
We got to see if Lydia qualifies here, So, but yeah, it was interesting, and I mean, her parents they weren't exactly the most welcoming.
No, I mean, the dad more was than the mom. The mom definitely was not the most welcoming. The sister sure as hell wasn't.
She didn't see it.
At some point, they say
you're
too well prepared, like you're too scripted. Yeah. This whole thing seems phony to me, and I'm like, well, dang, man,
because it's phony.
No, it's not.
It's phony.
What do you want her to answer like poorly? Would that make you feel better?
Right. Or you think any woman's just gonna come here and be like, "Hey, I think you're an asshole," and your whole family screwed
and
up,
maybe
you know?
she's like, maybe it's kind of like that one girl wearing the makeup. She wants to look her best. Maybe she's like, let me anticipate some questions so I look good in front of them.
All right, let me tell you. So I really came on the show to get with my ex, but it turns out
that didn't work. He wasn't buying it.
Milton loves gemstones and stuff. He loves geology, so I was like, cool, I got to go with this kid.
That's my unrehearsed version.
That's right.
Yeah, so I feel for Lydia in this situation, but she handles it pretty
She
good.
does.
And she doesn't get pissed when she's like confronted with this stuff.
She handled that very well, man. I was like, wow, good job, Lydia.
Yeah, props to her on that one.
No doubt.
Agreed.
Yeah, so then we get to the marriage license. This almost feels like filler stuff. We don't see this before in other seasons. Yeah, so they're like, show them get their marriage license. Right. I mean, it's...
Yeah, what the hell, But then we got to see a little more of Milton's sister at the brunch, right? And he goes and has some brunch with his sister, and that was again, his sister was still like kind of harsh to him about it and stuff. But I think I love the way he handled it. He did a good job, I think, and he was he was calm and collected about it. He's like, look, I'm very analytical. I usually go with my gut. I know what I know what I want. This is the characteristics she has that I like, X, Y, and Z, and finally kind of sell the sister on it, I think. So
yeah.
It's interesting to like just watch Milton, like the way he thinks and stuff like that.
No doubt.
It's like he analyzes everything, and everything's kind of like a math problem. It seems like.
Yeah.
And again, it's funny because he's so smart and so smooth and calm and collected, and very mature in some circumstances. And then the rest of the time, he's a fucking teenager.
He just can't pick up after himself.
Leave his damn clothes shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Well, I get it.
I mean, he's got some part of his brain that's maturing. The other part's like catching up. It's difficult. He's only 24.
He's cool, man. I like Milton.
And then we get to see him try on the wedding dresses and the tuxedos and stuff like that. You got to have that in here.
Yeah, it's like a big snooze fest for you guys, right?
Yeah, it's not the most exciting stuff. I mean, you got to show it. You got to have it. So it is what it is.
I mean, Lydia in that second dress looked good, man. That second dress looked really good on her. The first one I wasn't a big fan of, the one with like the sleeves hanging down, but that second one was good.
I like the second one. And I
Stacy looked good in hers.
Oh, Stacy did.
I like that I saw Renee, but
yeah.
I just feel bad because I'm getting cheated out of her, actually.
Yeah,
apparently she was there to do all that.
Her mom was there with her.
Yeah.
And then again, we get to see the back of freaking Carter's head,
for a hot second.
The only thing I don't like about the wedding dress scenes is you can tell they even stop and have this awkward long pause with every one of them for the girl. It's like you can tell they're prompted. Okay, now that you've chosen the dress, stand there and just tell us what you love about your guy or like what you're looking forward to. And then they're like their tears and like telling you.
Yeah, and it's the same formula every time.
Give a Visine if you need it, get your eyes wet.
Yeah, and it seems
people just don't walk out there, do a turn, and be like, I don't know if I like it, and walk off.
Well, when they find the dress, it's like, and then they sit there and they talk about like, oh, what do you think he's gonna say, and blah blah blah. It's like it's just not really how it happens. Like,
I mean,
it's not. I wouldn't say scripted, but it's prompted.
No, it is because it is the exact same every freaking season.
Yeah,
so it's definitely prompted. No doubt about it.
I mean, is that bad though? Because maybe that captures the moment pretty well too.
It's cheesy.
Yeah, it's totally cheesy, but that's what they're trying. They're trying to be cheesy in that moment, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, Stacy, she can handle shopping. Shopping's her thing. You know what I mean? So she's like, I'm not intimidated by shopping.
She don't do plain. She don't do plain.
Which is funny because she chose a very plain dress. I mean, it's very simple and elegant. I actually loved her dress, but it was, she doesn't do plain, but then she puts on this like bedazzled like dress and she's like, it's boring. And then she gets the most simple dress.
I think she chose well. So
I agree. I love the dress, but it's the opposite of what she said it would
you know what she was wearing though? She had her Mrs. Zapata jacket with the bling on the back on it, man.
Boom.
She's showing that bad boy off. Pow, pow, pow.
Yeah. That was kind of cool, right? That she wore that. I mean, giving some love to Izzy, I guess. Trying.
I mean, that pairs really well with the expensive shoes.
Well, the funny thing about it was, man, so, the Zapata had sparkle, glitter all over it and shit. The shoes she has the glitter on them. And then she looks at that one dress. She's like, yeah, I don't like the glitter. It's like, dude.
Too much, man. Too much. You got to have the right amount of glitter.
Right, yeah.
In the right places.
Yeah, exactly.
She said she might just piece together her own dress. Yeah. She has a vision.
That's right.
But Izzy takes her to like the plane museum. They go on a plane ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He said it's like first class, but I don't know about that in that plane.
She's crawling in.
Looks like some World War II bomber plane or something like that.
Exactly.
But he's telling the cameras, he's like, she wants gestures. Here's a gesture.
She's used to flying on private jets. Evidently, some dudes.
Well, it's cool when they have like the private dinner at the museum because you can't really get that.
No, you're not getting that anywhere. And that's the thing too. She's like, I want you to make nice gestures for me, and this, she was complaining about that shit. So this gets set up, but it's like he didn't really set that up. The freaking Netflix set that up. There's no way in hell he'll ever be able to call that freaking place again and be like, hey, I want to rent out your freaking museum for one night just to have a freaking dinner date with my girlfriend.
Maybe if he gets Psycho Bunny, if he gets Psycho Bunny involved, maybe he can.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But what do you want her to do? Take her to Olive Garden? I mean, is that what you want to see?
Right.
When you're here, your family.
That's the real date. That's the real date. Take her on a real date. Right.
That's the real world.
How do you feel about breadsticks and Alfredo sauce?
Oh, that's the good stuff right there.
I'd be totally happy with it. Take me to the best Mexican restaurant. I'll go Outback, Olive Garden. We'll take sponsorship. It's fine.
There you go.
Yeah, and then Milton and Lydia have their date.
Yeah. They got a little, I don't know if it's a natural
Shut
history.
down their museum.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
They're in the middle of the museum there, yeah.
So the nerds go look at some rocks, and they're pretty cool looking rocks, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have their little private dinner.
Now,
it didn't go as well as Stacy.
Right, Stacy and Izzy's went awesome, right? It was great. They danced together there and all of that, but this one, not
I think
so much.
he confessed he wanted to be adopted by her family in some way.
Exactly. Yeah. This time, though, not so much.
Yeah, well, I mean, they keep harping over this Uche incident, and Milton says, I don't know if I like the way you handled that.
Yeah,
and she took great offense to that.
Oh, yeah. And then not only that, she's like, well, Uche is an asshole, by the way. He's a guy. Thanks for telling me that the millionth time.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And these guys are kind of one-upping her. Like,
Yeah.
he's saying something, and then she kind of brings it back. Like, if he says this, she's like, you don't think I like it too?
Yeah. Well, then he's like, you're just too emotional, and you just handle things too differently. You need more like me, just not give a shit
Which
about
is
stuff.
true, because she even shows that in this scenario.
And it is, but at the same time, I mean, and he's young. You can't. Women are emotional, brother. That's just how they are, man. You can't you can't tell a woman you can't be emotional because women have emotions. They're emotional, and they're not.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that it's ridiculous.
You can't be emotional.
It's ridiculous that he was talking to her that way, and I get where she was coming from, but he's just young. He's 24 years old. He probably don't have a whole hell of a lot of experience with women yet. So
when they were talking, I just wanted to step in there. I wanted to be that
whisper in his ear,
mediator, and there be like, okay, this is what you should say here, and this is what you should say here, because I see both sides of their argument, and they just don't know. And he says they communicate really well, but obviously, communicating freely, because like he said, he's kind of been holding back and being careful with his words, and he just wants to be able to tell her what he thinks. And
well, she has to go take a lap.
But he was enjoying that food while she was staring around.
He's just calm, cool the whole time, and he's just enjoying his food, essentially. Yeah, I mean, that didn't seem like to faze him at all. And it's funny, too, because she comes back after that, and they almost pick up the same conversation and go for round two.
Well, and then he's still just stuffing his face the first 15 minutes of it, right?
He does eventually apologize, and they just say, I love you, kind of out of the blue, and it's over. So, yeah, I'm a little worried for their communication style.
She's using that smile, just puts her hand out there, and he grabs it, and then it's all good. Everything's good at that.
Yeah. Well, and I just wish, because he has said that he doesn't feel or that he has to be very careful with his words with her because of how emotional she gets, and he even says it before he tells her he didn't really like the way she handled the situation. He's like, can I say this? Like, he's asking permission, and then when he says it, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, girl, don't overreact to that, because you told him it was a safe space. Don't overreact. And
she's looking good during this. She's got a nice pink dress on.
And Milton's got his wrinkly ass freaking undershirt on. This dude, man, he loves them undershirts, man. That's all this guy wears, man. He wears these wrinkly ass undershirts, and that thing was wrinkled as hell. Like, man, you're bringing
probably on the corner of the floor,
exactly. He probably picked it right up off the floor and put it on. Yeah, it's like, dude, you're bringing your girl to this nice date, this nice fancy little dinner here, in this thing, and you're wearing a freaking wrinkly ass undershirt.
Now he is tall. Maybe he has a hard time finding the right clothes, and maybe they're not cheap either.
Yeah, well, he could have at least ironed that damn undershirt. He was
he's
wrinkly
an engineer. He's got some money.
That's right.
He can afford a shirt that's not wrinkled.
Yeah, he's there.
So then we go to back over to Izzy and Stacy, and they mention we had the conversation.
Yeah, because
it was such an awkward. He's first of all,
his packing job, dude.
Suitcase. He was.
Awesome.
I didn't even pay attention.
That was awesome, bro. This motherfucker. It was like a Milton job, man. He had all these clothes just balled up, nothing was
He's
folded.
just putting them in there trying to close it.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
It was like, oh man, dome of clothes. I'm like, he'd not folded nothing. It was just
Maybe that was his dirty pile.
Yeah, it was like Milton right there.
If it's a dirty pile, I get it. But
and maybe it was. I don't know. But then he's like, "We've had some great times here, haven't we?" And she just got this look on her face. You're like, "Oh."
She don't look happy.
You're like, "Oh, something's up."
And they refer to this conversation, but they don't really explain the conversation. But you can kind of pick up bits and pieces from the conversation.
And of course, all of us are like, Netflix, why don't you just show us the damn conversation? You know?
We don't even know what it's about at this point.
They probably didn't have it on camera, but like not. The context clues around it, like when they're leading it to it, when it first started, I'm like, it has something to do with money.
Well, she's like, I don't even know if I could trust you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Damn,
what the hell happened?
When I asked you if you had a credit card, you didn't think it was time for you to tell me that when you didn't have a credit card? Don't you think that's odd? I was like, okay, it's got to do with money. It's got to do with credit cards.
And then she's like, it scares me. And you're like, damn, what happened?
And then I'm like, damn, is this dude like 70 grand in debt or something? Like, holy shit, you know, like, good, give him be a lot of money. And then this cat's like,
he's like, I got one Macy's card. It's past due, but I'm gonna pay it.
You know, it's paid off already. It's just, you know, my credit's bad. It was only like $3,500. I'm like, that's what all this shit, $3,500. I'm like, how the hell is your credit ruined over $3,500? That's like $100 a month payment.
How much does he make?
That's like
I gotta tell you,
that's like $100 a month payment.
I gotta tell you,
probably didn't start off at 35.
Right.
Well, that's true.
Right.
But even so, my credit when I was like early 20s was really, really bad because I didn't pay a student loan and I put that off for like 6 months dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it tanked my credit score. And it was a student loan, so I think it was like $10,000. But
yeah, so you're talking about $3,500.
Yeah, and he's 29.
Yeah, but if you don't address it, like, I mean, it doesn't matter how much the debt is. Every single month that's getting reported late. That's
true.
Late. So it's going to damn.
My point is, I get what she's saying. Like, if it's really only $3,500,
but now she can't trust
you are
him.
super irresponsible with money at that point, right? If that's all it is $3,500, and you can make that $100 payment a month, man, that's some irresponsible shit right there for somebody your age, right? So I get it.
Is this a big deal though?
It could be. And if he, you know,
I think let's be real. Stacy makes a big deal about any
that's
flaws.
true. That's what I'm saying. Is this really a big deal or not?
Right.
Like, because it's like, hey, this ruined my credit. Well, how much are you in debt now? If he goes, nothing, I just don't have good credit. It's like, it's not really that much of an issue, right?
And that's
how bad is the credit?
Right. Well, that's what he finally said. When she finally sat down and they talked it out and whatever. But I mean,
she's got the house already. She's got 2 bins. He doesn't even need the car.
He can sell that Jeep, man.
So I don't know.
I get her side of it though. Like, can I trust that there's not something else? But he kept trying to say, well, I didn't hide it from you. It's like, he kind of did.
Yeah. Because she said there were several times where you could have like admitted to it. And he kept saying, well, this is one of those conversations where I really wanted to sit down with you and talk about it. I just didn't want to be willy-nilly about it. But it's like,
I mean, what are you going to do? You're out at a restaurant and order the appetizers. By the way, did I tell you my credit score is 500?
No, but her point.
But the lying and the deception, especially if she specifically asked him about it, that's problematic.
Yeah, and if they're at a gas station, that means they're going to be alone in that car driving again in a minute. So you can't have that conversation while you're driving there, together in the car. It's like,
and we know Stacy is very particular about finances and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she picked the wrong guy. Maybe it doesn't work. Finances are a big deal.
Well,
here's the deal. It's the same kind of scenario as far as Milton not being able to say what he wants to say to Izzy. She doesn't create the safe space for him to be able to be open about it.
No, Stacy's rough, man. She is hardcore. She's straight and to the point. Yeah, no doubt about it. And there's no safety there, really.
That might be good, though, to have, opposites in that case. You both can't be emotional. You can't both go cry in a separate closet, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe
you could. Maybe they could both go to their separate closets, cry it out, and then they come back together and they're good to go.
It's a 3-story or 4-story house.
Right.
They can go to their own floor.
I also thought it was a little odd, because they asked Milton about hyphen. He's like, I don't play that game, no hyphen. But I'm like, I don't know if you make that call, especially with who you're engaged with.
And he said, no, she's taking my last name. He's like, no, she's taking my last name.
I'm like, I don't know if you have that much say in this as you think you do.
Right. Especially when you're talking to a Hispanic woman.
Now, I agree with him. I'm on board with that. But, Lydia, I think, gets some say in that.
Oh, yeah, she definitely does.
Well, maybe they've talked about it. We just haven't seen it.
Maybe. So the first episode was pretty exciting. The second one,
You know, and of course we get the previews for the next set, and the previews make it look like everything's pretty much hunky dory, right? Like,
nah, they showed the two falling apart too.
A little bit, but for the most part, I thought it was, you know, they made it for the most part look like they're probably going to say yes, but who knows? Because
I think they say no.
About that. I think Milton might say no.
If either one of those two say no, I agree with you. It's going to be Milton. Out of him and her, I'd say it would be him to say. I'd say Lydia probably says yes, and Milton would say no.
I could see Milton saying no.
And the other two,
yeah, who says no in that scenario?
I don't know if either one of them do, man. But maybe one of them. I mean, because that
I concur.
That
you
one
go first. Is it going to be one of those scenarios?
You want to go at the same time?
That one they definitely made it look hunky dory on the freaking altar. You know, like she's crying like, "Oh, you're my, you know, you're my safety and this and that."
But then he says, "I just want to be loved."
Yeah,
the way I love, and like
I think
she definitely doesn't do that. So is he like
Yeah,
picking up on that?
I mean, the way things are going, it'd make you believe like Stacy would be the one to say no, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because she's the one who's like identifying red flags with Izzy and all that.
What if she went to Dad and said, "Dude, his credit score's like 500."
The dad's like, "I don't have to pay for this one, though." Maybe you give it a shot.
Okay, I get that his credit score is 500, but how much debt does he have?
Right, exactly.
None? All right, we can work on the
That's
score.
okay. We can fix it.
Yeah, and I wish they would show these episodes closer to when they film them, so there aren't spoilers and things like that out there. People, you know, we know people love to research it to death, so.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
you're probably going to find out.
Yeah, you don't want to be behind the curve, especially when we're sitting here filming these reviews, but also we don't want to be spoiled. So.
Well, then not only that, then you got some cast members like Uche online spilling some tea, you know? So.
Yeah. And then, you know, if they had aired this sooner, then maybe we would have seen Renee's story. And their
I know.
Renee and Carter's love story, but, you know, she got
I
married too
still don't
quickly.
really understand. Like, so what? She's married to someone else. Who cares? You still show her turning the guy down at the altar, and then you have the reunion. Who's this guy?
We still
this is my husband.
Right, exactly. Yep.
So
this is the guy I met a month after, and we got married 3 months later.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
I mean,
yeah, and what drove them apart? Like, was that interesting?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, and you only had 2, so I don't know why you wouldn't show it.
Maybe Carter just liked fishing too much.
I think there was a rumor that 4 other couples got together. I hope that
there's another couple that's still together. They didn't get married, but they're still engaged, and they didn't do the Mexico. I think it's Brenda, and I can't remember his name.
Oh, maybe you extend the number of episodes too. Like, why do you have to keep it to like 10ish? Maybe you go a little longer.
Look, they only have so much money, okay?
No, they're filming it all. I guarantee you. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they're definitely filming it all.
Yeah, you know what it's like. You know what it's like to edit a video. They're like, I can't pay an editor to edit all this.
Especially the ones that went to Mexico. They definitely filmed that. You know, so
yeah, I guarantee they filmed some stuff with Renee in Mexico. So.
Yeah,
yeah, we'd like to see that Netflix.
Yeah. I said at the beginning of this review, like 2 reviews ago, I want to see the B-roll footage.
No doubt. But maybe they'll all end up at the reunion anyway. You know, because I don't think they're just gonna have 2 couples at the reunion. Hopefully they'll bring a good more amount of people.
They probably will.
Yeah, but Uche made it sound like he might not be going to the reunion.
Yeah, Uche can piss off.
Yeah. That guy probably can't resist being on camera.
Exactly. So. Exactly. He'll be there.
He's above the law.
Uh-huh. Oh, because evidently he was saying, oh, well, Netflix, you know, that conversation that she and I had at the restaurant, they threw it all out of whack because we shared our first kiss during that, and that's not how the way they showed it ain't how it went down. You know, we decided to go on, try it out, go on a couple dates. You know,
yeah, supposedly they agreed to like date off the show.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't know how that works with your contract with Netflix. It's like
you don't know what to believe with this guy first off, so
That's
who
true.
knows.
Yeah, at that point, I guess you really need to hear
I'd
what
like to
Leah
know
has
what
to say
kind of
about
lawyer he is. I guess I should look that up. Wonder how his lawyering business is going.
He's above the law. So, well, there you have it, folks. That is episodes 8 and 9. We got one more, the finale coming up. I think you guys know where we stand. I don't think either one of these couples is going to last, and and if one of them says no out of the 2, it's definitely going to be Milton, I think. But hey, tell us what you think about everything that's going on. If you've seen some kind of extra tea spilled out there that maybe we don't know about yet, share it with us. We'd love to talk about it.
We don't want to hear it.
Oh no, we totally want to hear about it.
He was the one who loves spoilers. We don't like spoilers.
I love spoilers. Share it with me. All right.
Jeez.
Yes. Share it. As always, hit that like, subscribe button. And for those of you that have been doing it recently, thank you again. And we will check you guys at our next review.
See ya.
See ya.